Hey, Didier.
Bonjour, Liam. How are you?
Bonjour. Very well. Thank you.
Everything's fine? All right. Let's start by something that is kind of new here. I mean, you're no stranger to action movies. That's a non-fact. But this one is different. This one has a big heart, has a huge heart. Is it why you wanted to do it?
Sure. Yeah, very, very much so. And I've had quite a lot of experience over the years of working with children. Some good, some maybe not so good or successful. But I loved working with this boy, Jacob Perez. He has very little experience, has an incredible look, has a sadness behind his eyes, has an experience behind his eyes that defies his age, which was 2019. We shot the movie. He was 11 years of age. But when he smiled, it was like the sun came out from behind the clouds, you know. He was terrific to work with. I learned so much from him. His focus was amazing. He could go into these quite emotional scenes with extraordinary ease. And it was all truth. He was incapable of lying while he was acting. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's always kind of unexpected for an actor as experienced as you to be confronted to such innocence, to such a spontaneity. How do you like that? How do you play on that when you play with a kid like on this film?
You know, there are so many maxims about what acting is. There's two I like. One from the great James Cagney, who said, you know, you walk in the room, plant your feet, speak the truth. That one I love. The other one is, the other maxim you'll hear a lot of actors say, well, acting, Robert Duvall says this a lot, acting is about listening. So I tried to embody those two maxims. And with Jacob, it was about just trying to peel away all my experience of 63, 64 films and just really listen to him when he spoke. And of course, a lot of the movie, he doesn't speak at all. So I had to listen all the more, you know?
It's working very well between you two guys. And also when I watch a movie, there's kind of a Clint Eastwood vibe to it. I don't know if you see what I mean. It's probably because of Rob Lawrence. Do you see that? Do you see that it kind of this kind of movies? Would you say?
Yes, very much so. I know Robert Lawrence had worked a lot with Mr. Eastwood over the years as a producer, executive producer, assistant director. I've had the pleasure of working with Mr. Eastwood myself 31, 32 years ago. And Robert very, very much has subsumed a lot of Mr. Eastwood's how he works on a film set. So when I read the script, I thought, yeah, this is like a movie Clint Eastwood would have made in the early 1980s, for example. And Robert Lawrence was very much like Clint in that he was very laid back, very quiet. You felt as if you had all the time in the world to execute this scene, shoot this scene. But of course you didn't. We shot the whole movie in 29 days. And but you never felt pressure with Robert. You never felt it with Mr. Eastwood either. But sometimes he would shoot the rehearsal. You might do 2 takes. At the very maximum, you did 3. And I like that way of working. Personally, I like that way.
And it's a beautiful character. I mean, it's a guy who come back from the war. He's out of this world, very nostalgic. And how to play this kind of character? How to give such? I mean, you're doing a great job doing that, giving him so much dimension, so much multifaceted to the character. How to approach this kind of nostalgic character?
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. You know, I just I read a lot of about veterans coping with having fought in the Korean War, which is known as the Forgotten War. Certainly the Vietnam War. I read a lot about a couple of books about a famous American sniper that worked in Vietnam during the war, which was fascinating. And so I kind of subsumed that stuff from these books I read. I know a couple of ex-soldiers, British soldiers. I spoke to them about their experience and how it affected them and stuff. And quite a number of them did admit that they closed themselves off. They had experienced stuff that nobody should ever experience. But because they were defending their country or whatever, but there was a part of their heart had closed off. And I thought that was very much a key to my character, and that this child that I try and help gradually breaks through the chains of this man's heart, which was lovely. I think the film has a lot of heart, and hopefully it's very entertaining, and there's certainly some action stuff, and but I'm very proud of it. I'm very fond of the film, I must admit.
You can be. It's a very touching movie. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Thank you very much.
Merci.
Thank you. Bye. Au revoir.
Take care. Au revoir.
Oh, please.
今度のリーアム・ニーソンは的中率 100% の男。託されたのはメキシコ麻薬カルテルに狙われた少年。
My cousin in Chicago.
I don't give a shit, but taking you to your family in Chicago.
それは命がけの逃避行。
He just needs someone to give him a chance. I'm taking him to her family.
マークスマン。